Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever Ember wanders near.
The title is VTuber crashes out after getting a taste of her own medicine following hypocritical virtue signaling. So I don't like everybody was backing Mia for a while, so I'm kind of curious what the hell did she do to have everybody suddenly like fucking turn on her like this. So what the hell? Let's take a look and see, is it deserved or is this just a bunch of retards?
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, we'll be once again talking about the VTuber Miyasu. We have covered this VTuber multiple times before because she has been the routine.
Oh, it's not Mia that's getting turned on. Okay, all the better. Okay, perfect. It's one of her Kansas. Perfect. Excellent. Cool. That's what, okay, fantastic. You have my attention.
Victim of harassment and deplatforming campaigns by multiple communities on Twitter, including the VTubing scene and the Sonic scene as well. They have deemed her problematic because of some of her opinions and tweets, mainly because they believe she is a bigot, because she refuses to acknowledge people by their preferred pronouns. If they're trans, she instead refers to them as their biological gender, and that does not sit well with a lot of communities who have routinely tried to rip away any opportunity she receives based on her efforts. Now, one of the people to lead the previous campaigns is a larger VTuber by the name of Ems, who was virtue.
Never heard of this VTuber. Does anybody know who this is? Emzberry? Anybody know who this is? Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, yeah, I'd never heard of this. It's a VTuber in the Sonic community. We do not approve of you. So, oh my god. So this is someone literally trying to gatekeep the Sonic community. Yeah, this person has named themselves ambassador of the Sonic VTubing community. Okay, let's just see. Okay, I'm gonna have something for this in a second, but I'll let it play out for a moment.
Signaling about Miyasu, saying she has no place in the Sonic community, and really led the charge against Miyasu that actually lost her an opportunity a few months ago. And now Ems is getting a taste of her own medicine and has locked down her account and gone private after receiving a sliver of the backlash and harassment that Miyasu has received for over the past year.
And isn't that always the way? All of these SJRs that love to facilitate cancel campaigns against other people, they're all about just dogpiling on them and trying to destroy their lives. They get a fraction of it back, and all of a sudden they're like, words are violence! Words are violence! Quick, lock down the accounts! Nobody can talk to me! Nobody can be mean to me! Every fucking time. Every time when they get their own back, they immediately go run and hide because they can never handle it.
Or so. And that's because she is about to lose one of her own opportunities. It's being threatened because people are bringing up her own heinous tweets.
I can imagine what they are. Chat, do you see what I see in this profile? Communication is DILF hunting. Okay, she's gonna criticize Mia for talking about, people pretending to be transgender when they're actually not. And in her own profile, her location is Dad's I'd like to fuck hunting. Is anybody surprised that she's going to have some seriously unhinged tweets that people are going to slap her in the face with? And by the way, I don't think it's going to be that I suspect, off the cuff, that this may not be a case of the left eating their own. I have a feeling it's just normal people, not these, the psychopath SJRs. I think it's normal people basically doing a whole lot of this you, and just reposting her absolutely unhinged tweets.
Many of which glorifying and encouraging political violence. And as we'll see, her explanation for all this on her recent stream is not only hypocritical, it is actually pretty deranged. So let's go back to Miyasu. About 2 months ago, she celebrated her invitation to the Sega Creator Zone event, an event that would be ripped away from her because there were viral posts reporting her to Sega and demanding that she be dropped because she's so problematic. And as you can see, they would follow through and remove her, which was to the ecstasy of people in the quote, celebrating this as a great moment for them, exacting some sort of justice upon her. But
here's the funny thing. I don't know if Sega took this into account. All of the people celebrating Mia being removed from the Sega creator group, they're not customers of Sega. They're not buying Sonic. They're not paying customers. You know who are? The people that support Mia and are upset about what Sega did to Mia by kicking her out of the Creative Club. Those are the paying customers. And we are at a point in societal history where people are actually expressing their displeasure with their wallets. And so what are the odds that people are that are once paying customers of Sega see this, even perhaps even some normies, and they just kind of go, you're not going to get my money anymore. You want to do this to someone who is, by and large, a very sweet and wonderful girl, and you're going to fuck her over like this in the name of my diversity. What do you think the odds are that Sega's actual paying customers, who I would wager are perhaps a bit more right-leaning, go, okay, cool, I don't have to buy your products anymore. I can cancel any existing subscriptions that I have. Fuckity bye. What the chances that might happen, huh?
Miyasu has been the receiver of multiple campaigns like that. In fact, back in February, Ems was leading the charge, saying this: as a VTuber in the Sonic community, we do not approve of you in this community. I literally can't be in the Sonic community without being so out of place because of the mindset of the LGBTQ. Then walk out, buddy. So Ems loved to virtue signal and try to get people deplatformed or have opportunities ripped away from them all the way back.
What are the odds that Ems has a far view count than Mia does? What do you think the odds are that that's the case? Because typically that's another factor that usually falls into play here. Is usually, like, especially in the VTubing space, usually the screeching SJRs that go after other VTubers for ideological purposes, 9 times out of 10, the SJRs that go, the SJR typically has less viewership than the VTuber that they're attacking for ideological reasons. So I have to wonder, are they butthurt that this other VTuber that is in their space is more popular than them? And they're basically just like pissed off that, this person's more popular and how dare they be in my space because they're going to overshadow me. And so they go on the attack and they go after these VTubers, perhaps maybe to gin up some attention to their streams, try and get people, try and basically use them as basically a punching bag to generate interest in their own streams. We've seen this happen before. I mean, yeah, it's petty, mean girl bullshit, but wouldn't you want to bet that might be a factor in here too?
Into February. But unfortunately for her, she's getting a taste of her own medicine because she has found herself receiving an opportunity with Sega as well. A stream that has a charity aspect. And of course, as you can see listed down here, is Emzberry. Now, with this, people have been quick to point out her own heinous tweets. If we're talking problematic, here's some actually problematic stuff.
And here we go.
You can see on July 13th of 2024, She makes this post saying they missed him with disappointment.
Huh?
This is referring to the attempted assassination attempts against President Donald Trump, where he was within a millimeter of losing his life. She was disappointed that the political violence did not actually succeed. In fact, there was another post she made in 2025 saying, I wish the worst for anyone who voted for Trump. I don't care. So this person is very okay with political violence and wishes the worst on anyone based on who they voted for. Now, if you're too worried about, virtue signaling and cancel culture, this is the game she and the related communities have been playing against people like Miyasu for quite some time. They are getting a taste of their own medicine. But instead of wrongthink, we have genuinely bloodthirsty, really just obsession with political violence. These tweets should not be that of someone working with Sega in any capacity. Okay, this isn't an edgy joke. This isn't just some sort of wrongthink. This is glorifying and celebrating acts of political violence. This is actually heinous. But people are trying to run defense, saying stuff like trying to tank a charity stream over some petty internet drama. St. Jude of all things, this might be a new low. And as pointed out here by the original poster, the stream's going to be fine. It's a great idea. But unfortunately, including someone who is a murder enthusiast is a pretty bad look. Yeah, they could literally invite anyone else, but instead they're...
And by the way, the defense on this is blatant. Take a charity stream over petty internet drama. This is how these SJRs try to deflect. They go, oh, it's just petty internet drama. Why are you getting so upset about wanting someone to die? Why are you getting so the party of words are violence are always the first ones to say, why are you getting so upset about petty internet drama when the quote unquote petty internet drama is literally wishing for or celebrating the death of one of their political or ideological opponents? It's always the same. It's blatant deflection. So turn it back on them. Turn it the fuck back on them.
Including this Emzberry, who, by the way, love to take petty internet drama and try to oust someone from communities and opportunities over wrongthink. And then you can see more people coping and finding out, saying, Sega doesn't like Trump. Did you see Sega's reaction on X when it was certain Trump would be the new president? Well, unfortunately for this individual, as pointed out here, let's tell them that the creator of Sonic follows Trump, which by their own logic would be enough to label you as a terrible, awful person just for following him on Twitter, right? But of course...
Yeah, so the creator of Sonic follows Trump. Where's your virtue signaling now? Because by their own rules, now that it has been revealed that the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog follows Donald Trump, by their own rules, they all need to search off a chip. They all need to boycott. They all need to boycott any of these VTubers who are involved in the Sonic Creator Program. By your rules, you need to fuckity buy. So fuckity buy. You stand by your convictions, right? You stand by your principles that if someone follows Trump, then you want nothing to do with them. So the creator of Sonic following Trump, by that logic, should get rid of all of your Sonic games and never play Sonic again, right? That's your rules. That's your rules. Or you're not going to follow your own rules. You're not going to follow your own convictions. And yes, trick question, because of course they're not. Because they don't actually have convictions. They don't actually have principles. None of these screeching SJRs have meaning. Again, the vast majority of these SJRs screeching on Twitter, marching in riots that are pretending to be protests. None of them have any convictions. None of them have any principles. None of them have values. You know what they have? Mental illness. Because every one of them is a loser. They know they're a loser. They hate they're a loser. They are desperate to belong to something, so they get sucked into the cult of the SJR. They get sucked into the cult of the leftists. Because kind of like what they did with LGBT, they just fling the doors up and say, we welcome everybody. As long as you think like us, come on in. We'll welcome everybody. And so they get these basically brain dead robots to basically follow along and wave and honor the flag and do the protest marches. Why? Because they feel like they belong. Because if they didn't have this, they'd have nothing. They'd be lonely, and they would feel worthless, because that's basically what they are. They serve no purpose except to follow the leader like a lemming and do whatever they're told to do, because that gives them even just a kernel of meaning in their life, regardless of whether or not that meaning is valuable. So that's why they will never stand on principle, like about the creator of Sonic following Trump. It's why you can't bargain with them. It's why you can't even cancel them on Twitter. That's realistically, like, you're not going to be able to cancel them on Twitter because they have no intrinsic value system. They are shameless and they don't care. That's why you can't reason with them. That's why you can't basically, it's why they'll feel no shame if you answer them with fact that completely destroys any argument they have, because they have no value. They have no shame. You want to know how you defeat them? Hit them in the wallet. If they are a content creator and they are sponsored by something, then you do not spend money on that something. You use your wallet. You use your wallet to basically take away their opportunities. If they're going to go after people, and then and they're a content creator, and like, okay, I'm going to be sponsored by X, Y, or Z here. In this case, with this girl that they canceled me out, she's sponsored by, she's going to be part of the Sonic Creator Program. Well, as a Sonic player, you can just go, cool, I'm done with Sonic. While Sega allows these people to be to be a part of this exclusive program, you're not going to get my money. That's how you beat them. You hit them in the wallet. That's real. Either that, or you basically vote and get people into office that basically can do something about this. In terms of policies and referendums and stuff like that. Go out and vote and get the people that will actually facilitate positive change into office. That is the other thing you can do. But barring that, the wallet. Because arguing with them on Twitter is not going to do any good. It's not. Because again, you cannot shame anybody that has no shame because they have no values. So you're kind of wasting your breath. It can be fun, basically bitch slapping them and then watching them crash out on Twitter. I've done that. People like the Zingo guy. Zingo guy and a bunch of his SJR buddies tried to come after me on Twitter. I basically just bitch slapped them and watched them crash out on Twitter, and it was fucking hilarious. They were doing and one of them, I showed it to you. One of them completely crashed out on Twitter and then deleted everything. So it can be fun watching them just lose their shit, but you're never going to get them to change their minds. You're never going to get them to alter their ideology, because in the end, they don't actually have one. They're just part of the cult that just says, we accept you for who you are. So don't even bother.
As a terrible, awful person just for following him on Twitter, right? But of course, people like Savvy here are being relentless, and I don't blame them. In all the replies of Sega, providing screenshots of her tweets. Do you really want to work with someone like this, who would likely want many different Sonic fans and even people who work at Sonic ended because of their political views? That is a very valid thing to raise, especially, like I said, this is the game people like Ems has been playing. They've been playing this with people like Miyasu, and they hate it when it's happening to them. And as you can see, they have of course gone private, but before they did that, they made a post trying to cope with everything that's happening. They said
Oh,
this.
here we go.
I really think all of you need to remember, we creators are also human. We have feelings.
Shut up. Oh yeah, and here it is. She gets a fraction of pushback that she slung at Mia, and all of a sudden it's like, you have to remember, we're all human. You have to be nice to us. Remember, we're human beings. Yeah, now she's crying. Now she's crashing out. Sucks to suck. You fuck around, you're gonna find out.
Feelings and thoughts too. Gets an opportunity, you are performative and fake. Breathes, you are performative and fake. Posts, you are performative and fake. What do you want from us? I'm being for real, by the
Hope
way.
and see.
What do you want from me to not seem fake to you? Post my
Hope
ID,
and
LMFAO. At the end of the day, I am just a corny Sonic fan who just happens to get lucky sometimes. Targeting people, attacking, and making stuff up about people you don't even know is so effing weird and screams jealousy. Think before you say stuff to others. Wow. The level of projection. This individual has zero self-awareness, and honestly, I hope they're humbled by this experience.
She won't be. Because no, she does not have any self-awareness because she has no value system. That's intrinsic to these people. They don't have a value system. They have no shame. They have no self-awareness. She will not that's where I was going. She's not going to do any introspection. She's not going to do any self-evaluation. She's not going to look at herself and go, gee, I wonder why people are attacking me like this. She's not going to do that. She's going to play the victim card, which no one's going to buy. She's going to try, she's going to try and pull out the victim card, and people are just going to go, I don't fucking care. And that's what's going to be it. But she's still part of it. She's still part of this this Sonic thing. She's still part of the Sonic Creators Program. So people that play Sonic, that spend money on Sega, that basically have an issue with her being part of the creator and the charity, whereas they booted off Mia. Inform Sega of this with your wallet. Because that will send a clearer message than any other kind of message.
Because everything they're saying could apply right to the Miyasu situation. People making things up. People attacking someone over posts. Yes, you created this game that people are now playing with you, and now you're trying to play the victim? Absolutely not. And you can see criticism or even very kind posts are not welcome. So this person says, why don't you talk about Mia? She's a human too. Instantly blocked. Here's another person saying, I agree, it's great to be caring and understanding, even if your friends vote differently, or have different political leanings, or say things you don't agree with. You'd have to be quite the hypocrite to say that and celebrate the death of those you don't like. Guess what happened to that person? Instantly blocked. Now, of course, this is where it really takes a turn, because she just, in her infinite wisdom, this Ems person decided to address this on stream. And you can see Miyasu pointing out this clip. And it's pretty diabolical. Now, to give you some context, the person who made this recording typed in the chat, what about that Trump tweet? And they were kicked from the stream. They were banned. But she talks and talks and talks. And not only is she massively...
I swear not all of us Sonic fans are this annoying. I know all Sonic fans are not annoying. I'm very aware of this. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm fully aware that this person is an outlier. This screeching SJR is an outlier. And that's why I'm saying Sonic fans need to make it known their displeasure with their wallets. Because Sonic fans, by and large, are not this annoying. My guess is most Sonic fans don't like this VTuber. They don't like what she has done. So let Sega know about it with your wallets and let them know, hey, Sega, I just cancel if there's a subscription Sega or something. Just let them know, hey, Sega, I'm not spending money on your products anymore because you're platforming this person that basically advocates for political homicide and is all about, going after people and getting them canceled when, they're because they have a differentiating opinion. Let the companies know you disapprove of this with your wallet. Guarantee you they're going to change their tone real fucking fast. Because a company will not make any kind of change whatsoever unless it affects their bottom line. That is the only time a company will make a change. When you hit them in the bank account, that's when they'll sit up and pay attention.
Hypocritical. You can just see the level of smugness, the untouchability she feels because of her, I guess, status in this related community.
Okay.
I was invited, or am invited. Spoiler alert, guys, I'm still invited. To the Sonic charity stream. That's for his birthday, right? And I'm getting like the worst end of it right now, for just being invited.
I'll pause before this person gets banned, but she's saying she's basically getting targeted because people are like jealous and for the most ridiculous reasons, completely ignoring the context of why people are complaining about her being there. And also, she reminds everyone she's still there. Don't worry, she's still there. Well, we'll see about that.
Let's see.
And it's really funny. It's really funny. I think it's really cute that a bunch of chuds are constantly talking about me.
Oh, it's the chuds constantly talking about you.
It's always
Honestly,
the chuds.
nobody knew who you were until you led this gigantic campaign against me.
And there it is. There it is. Exactly what I was talking about. People are like, oh, she's just being an SJR. Oh, she's virtue signaling. There it is. What did I say? There is a factor involved where she was nothing. Nobody knew about her. And because she caused this big stink, now all of a sudden, oh, who is this? Now she's gaining popularity, even though it's bad popularity, to try and drive people to her stream to see what is this crazy SJR all about. Okay? What did I say? In the end, when it comes to these stupid-ass VTubers that go on these stupid-ass crusades like this, in the end, it's all about wanting to get attention. It's all about wanting to basically feel like you mean something, because up to that point, you don't mean anything. I would love to know what was her typical audience count prior to all of this popping off. Before all this happened and her name was getting out there, what was her average viewer count? And what was it after this all this stuff started blowing up? And how much does it make a difference? Yeah, her audience may not stay, but it's even for like a short-term gain, is that she gets a bunch of people coming into her stream to see what is this SJR all about. It's still going to up the numbers, and it's still going to boost her in Twitch's algorithm to put her at least a little bit higher into the recommended streams in the VTuber category.
Miyasu, but good on you for having so much confidence in yourself.
But they're just like, there's just a bunch of like people who don't.
Notice how slow also her chat is. Look how long that took. We can still see the tweet. Okay, we can still see the tweet. Look how long it was for that next message to pop up.
Good on you for having so much confidence in yourself.
But they're just like, there's just a bunch of like people who don't. They're getting it political when it does not need to be.
There it is.
Just political people just being upset because they're other whatever fucking pink chud VTuber because I said something again.
Wait, please, Daddy, I'm dying. We need money for my cancer. What? Hey, that's just fucking weird. Okay.
Because they're other whatever fucking pink chud VTuber because I said something against them a while back because I still stand. Oh, by the way, I still stand by it.
Well, that's good to know. She still stands by the crusade she helped lead against Miyasu, but she also calls her a pink-haired chud. And also she'll say further that she's not political, but she advocates and celebrates political violence. Amazing. It's like they want their cake and to eat it too.
I'm not gonna get into who and what and where and why. If you know,
did.
you know. If you're chronically online, you'll know. But just because I don't agree with somebody and I said that they don't really belong, around the community, which I still stand by, everybody has an audience, and apparently I'm just not their type, and that's fine.
So when you were not the type of audience for someone like Miyasu, why didn't you just have that same attitude?
Yeah, why didn't you just go, well, she's not I don't have the same opinion, but she's got her audience, so let it be. Yeah, again, rules for thee, not for me. That's what that's how these people work. They always do the rules for thee, not for me attitude.
Instead of trying to lead cancellation campaigns against her. Interesting.
I'm not getting political, by the way. If anybody's worried, I'm not gonna get
Not political
I
at
never
all.
will be. I never bring up political shit in my streams. I mean,
Okay, well, that's a fucking lie. You want to know how I know that's a fucking lie? Is because even when I try not to be political, but I'm very much aware that in 2026, you can't talk about anything current or topical without politics getting injected into it in some way. I try to avoid it as best as I can. I do not go into topics that are overtly political, but invariably, no matter if you're going to talk about anything that's going on in the modern day, politics is going to worm its way into it somehow. Even if it's just a little bit, it's going to happen. If you don't think that's possible, you're an idiot. You're refusing to accept reality. Politics has been infected into literally every aspect of our lives, at least to some degree. It could be a small degree, but to some degree, politics is that there's no escaping it, unfortunately, for the most part. So it is going to come up no matter how much you try to avoid it. And to try and deny that means you don't have a brain.
It's only to advocate and celebrate political violence. That's the only time she gets political. Or if you have you voted for the wrong person.
if you know this, I'll joke about Mr. Kirk here and there.
She'll joke about Mr. Kirk.
Okay, that's fucking political. That is overtly fucking political. If you joke about Charlie Kirk, that is overtly political. So you lied. You just lied. By saying, I don't do political. I don't talk about political stuff. So you just fucking lied. If you're going to make a joke about Charlie Kirk, even a joke, there's intrinsically a political value based into that because of why he was assassinated. So you lied.
Kirk here and there. Interesting. Wow. Well, we'll add that to the list, I guess. So she'll joke about Trump and assassination attempts against him, and also, I guess, about Charlie Kirk as well. Really going mask off. I appreciate the honesty here.
But I'm not political. I'm not I don't care. I don't care what you believe in. I'm here to have fun.
Oh, so there's another fucking lie. If she doesn't care what you believe in, then why did you brigade a hate campaign against Miyatsu about what she believed in? If you don't care if she doesn't care what you believe in, then she would have just been like, I disagree with you, but whatever. Instead, she led a hate campaign that got Miyatsu kicked off the Sonic Creators Program. So
that was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
You don't care what people believe in, you just want to have fun. That's why you said you wish the worst on people who voted for Donald Trump. I mean, how many layers of hypocrisy can we establish?
So if you believe in things that the typical person doesn't believe in, then that's fine. As long as you don't bring politics in the chat, I don't care what you resign in. As long as you don't bring harm to people, I don't care.
Okay. What about what Mia said is either political or bringing harm to people? Because Mia just said, I don't believe in, speaking in regarding to transgender people, basically. Mia said, I don't believe in you, quote unquote, and paraphrasing here, pretending to be something that you're not. But and she also, if I remember correctly, she also qualified with, I don't wish you ill. I'm just not going to accept you pretending, or something to that effect. So why go after her? I mean, listen to her again.
Doesn't
We establish.
So if you believe in things that the typical person doesn't believe in, then that's fine. As long as you don't bring
Unless you believe in things that go against your intrinsic, quote unquote, values, because she doesn't actually have any values, then it's all hands on deck. We're putting you down. So again, that was a fucking lie.
politics in the chat, I don't care what you resign in. As long as you don't bring harm to people, I don't care.
You seem to be pretty gleeful about harm being directed towards a president you don't like.
Uh-huh.
I mean, is she even trying? Like, is she trolling us with this? It's actually insane.
Well, she's not trying. She's not. Because she thinks she's untouchable. That's the thing. She's saying these things and she has this attitude because she thinks she's untouchable. She's part of this charity event and she thinks that she's on the quote unquote right side of history. And so she thinks she's untouchable. She thinks, yeah, Sega's not going to boot me out of here. I can say whatever the fuck I want because I'm on the quote unquote right side of history. That's how they all think.
But yeah, they're trying everything in their power to get me removed because I apparently, according to them, I'm the reason why their VTuber that they like got removed from the Sega creator program or whatever.
Well, you were a part of it for sure, but that is, of course, trying to detract people away from the fact that you made a tweet disappointed that there wasn't political violence successfully launched against someone you don't like. That's why people are calling you out, and it's by your standards. You want people removed from events because they have wrongthink, and now people are doing it back to you, and you're stun-locked. You can't believe your virtue signaling set a standard that now you're being held to.
That's what they're running with. So they're trying to give me a taste of my own medicine?
Yes.
They're just jealous. No, jealous they are, but it's okay.
Just
it's okay.
Jealous. Right. Amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. I mean, what do you say? The sheer hypocrisy, the smugness. This is a person who needs to feel humbled. 100%. They feel like they're completely untouchable, that they can act a fool, say heinous things, and have no accountability while gaslighting their own audience. It's crazy. But Miyasu would share some of this stuff and say, as you know, I was removed from the Sega creator program due to safety. After what I've learned, I've been thinking, do I just say nothing? Do I let them silence me? Do I pretend I'm just fine? Sega is allowing this mainly because of the numbers. No matter the numbers, this is wrong. The irony with these posts is just ridiculous. I'm speaking about this since I've been sitting back and watching this unfold. Where it all began was a post from a minor on the site, and my post, YouTube short, was spread and caused people to start fuming on me. They never knew me to begin with, but because of this sole video, everything is different. I never spoke about this whole thing for a reason, for no reason. I spoke about it because of what I was feeling in the Sonic community. People were telling me how to behave and I have to...
Hang on. Saying along the lines, if you don't accept politics and everything, you're an idiot or something, just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I get that. It's... And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing it rubbed you the wrong way because you don't like the idea that politics has kind of infected almost everything that occurs in the modern day. Anything topical is invariably infected. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing it rubbed you the wrong way because you maybe don't like the fact that it's true. Could that be? No? It's not? Okay. It's okay. Gives you a headache. Well, it gives me a headache too. Okay, trust me, you're not alone in this. But it's just, I'm wondering if maybe it just like maybe it rubbed you the wrong way because you don't like it. is because you don't like how how this is infested kind of everything. And, you wish that there was, that it wasn't that you could basically talk about things and not have like the slimy tentacle of politics get in there. Yes, and I try to avoid it because it stresses me out and depresses me. I get that. Believe me, I get it. That's why I'm not always successful, but it's why I try not to do overtly political stuff, because it stresses me out and depresses me too. It's at the same time, I am a realist, and I know and I can see how the world works. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I had a feeling that's what you meant. Uh Doing clarification. But yeah, I had a feeling that's probably what you meant. I do. And you're not alone. Believe me, you're not alone. I think the vast majority of people these days feel the very same way. Is they're tired of the slimy, disgusting tentacle of politics worming its way into literally everything. And we're all sick of it. So at least take some solace in that you are not alone in feeling that way.
On a community, people were telling me how to behave and I have to say no. I felt uncomfortable, so I had to eventually say something. Should I continue supporting something like this? If I do, I at least have to speak the truth. I can't just allow this to happen. And of course, people are coping saying, you are really still whining about your actions getting consequences on a charity stream announcement. That's a whole new level of low for you. So yeah, when you apply their standards back to them, all of a sudden it's stooping to a low. Previously, it was receiving the consequences of your own actions. Now it's stooping too low. Now that's just unfair.
Yes.
Right? But she would reply saying, are people just going to ignore this? Or, with of course, these screenshots that we already referred to.
Well, we're not dealing with double standards because these people don't have standards in the first place. Let's be real about that. You can't have double standards when you don't have them to begin with.
And I think the whole drama really sums up to these tweets right here. Virtue signaling, trying to get Mia Sue out for being wrongthink. Then tweeting heinous stuff like this. Then virtue signaling about how good of a person they are and how horrible and awful people are being towards her. And then locking down. Locking down, can't take the heat. Loved to dish it out.
Oh my God. I kind of wish, who was it? Was it Arbel or was it someone else that they've been putting these beautiful, like they've created these beautiful images of their icons or their models, like doing like it's kind of like a perspective shot where they're like stomping forward, pointing down and going, this bitch locked her replies. I need to make one of those for myself so I can start using it because it's honestly really fucking good.
To those they think are bad people. But when they get even a minuscule amount in comparison, they shut down. Amazing stuff. But yeah, that's going to do it for this situation. I do not blame anyone for playing their game and showing these tweets to Sega.
Is Ems a mean person or not? Yes. She's an SJR. She didn't like that Mia Sue had an opinion regarding trans people where she said, I will not accept your, I guess, delusions or however she put it. And Mia said, I'm not going to call you by preferred pronouns because I'm not going to feed into your delusions. I don't wish you any ill, but I'm not going to basically, call you by your preferred pronouns. And because she did that, people like Ems campaigned against her and got her removed from the Sonic Creator Program. So yes, she is a bad person.
Especially when she's being so smug and cavalier about this entire situation. It's really embarrassing, honestly. Like, grow up, okay? Just because people think differently than you doesn't mean they should have the worst inflicted upon them. But that'll do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please consider liking the video, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams a week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
There it is. Well, we'll see what happens. Again, you wanna fight back? You fight back with your wallet. You fight back with your wallet, and you let Sega know you're gonna kick her out for expressing opinion, but you're gonna keep her in when she's advocated for political violence. Cool, you don't get my money. That is what will get Sega to sit up and pay attention.
Ember